I've been ostracized on social media before, and people say I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to type 1 diabetes, because they say that I don't know what I'm talking about because I say they have to watch their diet and it's an insulin, they don't make enough insulin. And I get that. Believe me, I'm a pharmacist. I think I know diabetes pretty well. Okay. And the difference between type 1 and type 2 is this. Type 1, years ago when we learned about diabetes, it was kind of changing when I was in pharmacy school in the mid 90s, early 90s. We used to call it juvenile onset and adult onset diabetes. And don't quote me on these numbers, but they're just kind of all relative anyway. And it's just kind of to get a picture in your head. 50 years ago, 90% of all diabetics were juvenile onset. That's also what we know as type 1 diabetes. Their pancreas does not make enough insulin. Type 2 diabetics make a lot of insulin, enough insulin, they're just resistant to it. So now 80% of all diabetics are adult onset. That's an old term. They're type 2. The reason we changed the term from adult onset to type 2 is because now, unfortunately, we've got kids that have type 2 diabetes. Why? Because they eat like crap and they don't move. So they are insulin resistant, i.e., their pancreases are making enough insulin, but their body does not respond to it. They're resistant to it. So they got to keep making more, or to bring their glucoses down, or they've got to inject exogenous insulin. So I am going to tell you right now, when it comes to type 2 diabetes, this is a strong statement. I get it. It's a very powerful statement, and it's coming from a pharmacist. I do not believe in medication to treat type 2 diabetes, period. There might be some specific instances where they have a little bit of type 1 diabetes in there that I might make exceptions, but let's face it, type 1 or type 2 diabetes mellitus literally means honey siphon. It literally means that you are peeing out sugar. That's what it means in Greek. So your blood glucose is too high and you'll start spilling sugar into your urine, whether it's type 1 or type 2. How do you lower your blood sugar? Well, with type 1, you can give them insulin. With type 2, if your insulin's too high, how do you lower your blood sugar? Stop eating. Right. Especially carbohydrates. You can lower your blood sugar by not eating carbohydrates. Type 1, type 2 diabetes, they are both carbohydrate metabolism problems. Period. Yes, they are treated different and they manifest differently. Whether you're a type 2 or a type 1 diabetic, you should watch the carbs you eat.